Hi everyone, welcome back to our Onshape tutorials for FTC Robotics. My name is Satvik and I'm part of the design team. In the last video, we showed you how to create your Onshape account and get set up. Now that you're logged in, it's time to actually start using the software. Today we're going to go over the basic tools and features in Onshape that you'll use all the time. By the end of this video, you should feel comfortable navigating the workspace and starting simple designs. Once you log into Onshape, the first thing you'll do is create a new document. You can do this by clicking the blue Create button here and then clicking Document. And then we can name it something like Onshape Episode 3 or Episode 3 Onshape. Then, once you open your document, you'll see the main workspace. This is where all your designing happens. At the bottom, you'll notice tabs. This lets you organize your project into different parts, assemblies, or drawings. For now, we'll focus on Part Studios, which is where you create individual parts. This setup helps keep everything organized, especially when your robot starts to get more complex. Before we start building anything, it's important to know how to move around in Onshape. You can right-click to adjust your view across the screen, and you can zoom in with your scroll wheel. And you can also click this little cube here and select different points to adjust how your view is. You can also move this thing around to get it out of the way. At the top, you'll see the toolbar. This is where all your main tools are located. On the left, this is the feature tree, which keeps track of everything you've done so far. Every sketch and feature will show up here in order. Getting comfortable with navigation makes designing a lot easier and faster. Now let's talk about one of the most important parts of Onshape, sketching. Almost every part starts with a sketch. To begin, click the sketch tool here and then select a plane. We can select the top plane, for example. Once you're in sketch mode, you can use the line tool here, rectangle, or circle to quickly create shapes. As you draw, you'll see dimensions appear. So if I click the line and then draw, you can see on the side a number appeared. Then you can click the D button on your keyboard, select the line, and then click the number you see, and then we can adjust the number to something like 3 inches. Or we can do 4 inches. And as you can see here, the line grew. As you draw, the dimensions will make designing a robot so much more easier because it will get the measurements super precise and accurate. When your sketch is fully defined, it will turn black, and you can click the check mark to get out of the sketch mode. So we can finish making our sketch by drawing the rectangle or any shape that you want, like this. And then we can click the check button. After creating the sketch, the next step is turning it into a 3D object. The most common tool for this is extrude. We can click the extrude button here, which is rectangle with the gray square on top. And then you can click on the sketch right here in the feature tree to make it a 3D part. And then you can adjust your view, and as you see here, the part became 3D. There's 2 different ways to adjust the depth of your part. We can use this arrow here at the top to drag it down or drag it up. This is the most common and easiest way. But another way is to click this number here and then change it to something like 1 inch. And as you can see here, the shape has become bigger. These are the basic features and what you'll use to build most of your robot parts. Once you want to exit sketch mode, you can just click this little check mark here. In the feature tree, you can rename sketches to know exactly what each step does. For example, we can right-click on this sketch here and then click Rename, which is the first option. And then we can name it something. This flexibility is one of the biggest advantages of using Onshape. To summarize, now that you've created your Onshape account, you can start using basic tools like sketching, extrude, and navigation to build your first parts. These tools are the foundation for everything you'll learn and design in FTC. In the next video, we'll walk you through creating your first simple part step by step so you can start designing on your own. Thanks for watching, and make sure to follow along with the rest of the video.